What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Behind the Reel podcast. We're back with another live interview. And today we've got a special guest, Mr. Jeff Scott. He's going to join us to talk about his most recent win out at Hillsdale Lake. He was fishing an event with the Northeast Kansas Kayak Anglers. So we're going to pick his brain, try to get behind the reel, and figure out how he was able to come away with the W. And before we bring him on the line, I just want to mention to everybody who is not aware, we're going to be fishing an event out at Wilson Lake on May 15th. Make sure you run over to the Air Capital Kayak Anglers page and give that a look. That will also be a Kansas Bass Nation Kayak Series event. So you will actually have an opportunity to qualify to fish the state championship later on in the year. And if you do well in that event, you'll be able to go on to the national championship, which is being held in conjunction with the Bassmaster Classic. So it's a pretty big deal. Make sure you guys check that out. But we are going to go ahead and bring Jeff on and pick his brain a little bit here. What's up, Jeff?
How's it going? Thanks for having me.
Yes, sir. Thank you for joining us on this Cinco de Mayo evening. I know, I think earlier before we started recording, I saw you had an adult beverage. I'm feeling a little festive tonight. Got the Modelo. So appreciate you joining us. We are going to share this link a little bit. We'll have some people coming over from Facebook. Oh, it looks like we have somebody feeling festive here. Hola, they say. So, hola.
Very good.
Muy bien, maybe. I don't know. But they're showing up as Facebook users. So Facebook users, I think there's something that maybe you have to do in order to reveal your identity. Jeff, do you know by
No,
chance? Okay.
I don't have any idea.
I should know that. I'm the host here.
This is Jacob.
Okay, can you see that?
Yeah, I can see that now.
Okay. Taco. So yeah, that's okay. He says it's Jacob. What's up, Jacob, aka Taco Skinny? Thanks for joining us, Mr. Southeast Kansas Kayak Anglers. Appreciate you. Okay, so we're going to do the usual behind the reel, and we're gonna kind of do our own little spin on it. There's really no set rules here. We're not necessarily following a script, but if we get off track, we can kind of get back on track with some of these questions that I already have outlined. So the first one we'll just kind of second in the house. There you go. Sorry, I get distracted easily. Having that comment bar on the side is probably not a good idea. But yeah, so the first question that I'm going to ask you here is just to kind of get familiarized with you, and just for the viewers out there to get familiarized with you. And actually, if you would just give us a brief introduction of yourself and maybe how you got started fishing, and then maybe even more in detail on how you got started kayak fishing.
Sure. Well, I live in Lawrence right now. Lived in Lawrence for a long time. I grew up in a real small town just west of Emporia, Strong City, Kansas. So growing up, I had access to a whole bunch of farm ponds. So I've been fishing since I can remember, kind of like everyone else says. But, that's what my buddies and I would do is we would go fish farm ponds and, catch big bass and crappie. And I'd go fish with my dad a lot. Then once I moved up to Lawrence, got older, obviously those farm ponds kind of dry up. You don't have access to near as many anymore. So I started fishing Clinton quite a bit. Had a boat for a while. I had a old Deep V tracker boat that I'd take out. And I kind of really got into walleye fishing and crappie fishing because, Clinton's not real known for its bass fishing. So had that for a couple of years. You know how boats are. They break down. They're hard to store. So I decided to get rid of it, and I went with a just with a kayak, my brother-in-law bought like a little 10-foot Victory sit-in kayak that he let me borrow. And I would take it out to Clinton, and I just loved it because it was easy to store. It was easy to put in wherever I wanted. And from there, I kind of got my first kayak back in 2018. And it was Pescador Pilot. That was my first pedal kayak. And that was a good kayak. I actually just sold it not too long ago. But from there, what was it, in late 2018, early 2019, I kind of started, seeing the Air Capital page on Facebook and thought, this could be fun. I haven't bass fished in a long time, but, I thought it'd be a good chance to meet people. So you were selling shirts, and I thought the shirts were pretty, they were pretty awesome. So I actually ordered one from you, and I met you for the first time at Banner Creek in like fall of 2019, I think, when they had their last tournament. And that was my first competitive tournament. And of course I did terrible. I think I caught one fish. But from then I was just hooked, and I did my first full year of competitive bass fishing, I guess, last year. So here I am now.
Yeah, I think that was the one that we did with did we join up with the Flint Hills guys maybe?
I think so.
And maybe NECA? I can't remember exactly, but is that the one old Coach Ken Shippey won?
Oh yeah, but which one hasn't he won, right?
He is a stick in that
He
part
is.
of the. I'm just glad he's not a Wichita guy.
Yeah. He wins a lot of those Flint Hill tournaments. I always say one of these days I'm just going to follow him around, sit in the same cove as him, and because man, he can catch him like the best of them.
Yeah, he really is an inspiration. And you know what? The funny thing is, and I told you, we're gonna get off on a tangent here.
Sure.
But the first kayak event I ever went to, I don't think he won it, but he was certainly there. And I do distinctly remember him being there at the first event. It was a NECA event for me, and it was up there. I think it was. I don't remember where it was actually. I'm drawing a blank on where it was, but I do remember him. I think that was back when he had a Jackson. But anyways, funny story.
Yeah, he's a really nice guy.
Yeah, he is. He is, and yeah, man, I think he's slaying the monthly right now.
He is. Yeah, I think he put up like 102 inches or something like that, or 101.
That's crazy. Where he's doing that in the country.
He's got his spots, man.
Okay, so it looks like Southeast Kansas Yak Man, aka Taco Skinny, aka Jacob Ward, is asking you, what kayak are you in now? Did you?
Late last year, well, it would have been like October last year. I found a PA 12 and got it used. And of course, I don't know, I wish I would have got one a long time ago, but that's what I'm in right now. So
What do you think about that compared to your other ones?
I mean, the Pescador, it was a good kayak, it was a good starter kayak, I love that it had the reverse on it, the instant reverse, in which that's something I'm still kind of getting used to on the Hobie.
Mm-hmm.
But, as far as stability and things go, you can't beat the Hobie.
Yeah. It's definitely a little more to carry around,
Yeah.
But I'm sure there are days where you really appreciate having the extra storage and
Absolutely.
stability.
Yeah.
I really like my Outback quite a bit, but there are times I wish I had just a little bit more storage and a little bit more stability, maybe.
Yeah. I still got the old 10-footer, so if I ever needed to carry it in somewhere, I could revert back to it and use it. But yeah.
What do you carry in? Like, so that's something that I notice in your part of the state is there's a lot of guys that do the walk-in play. I don't know of a lot of walk-in ponds around here, and maybe they're there. I'm just not aware of them.
There aren't a ton around Lawrence. If you get up further north, like north of Topeka and areas like that, there's some pretty good walk-ins. Buddy of mine fishes walk-ins quite a bit, and he's got some honey holes that are pretty good ones. But a lot of times, yeah, they're really tough to get into. Especially when you're lugging around a 120-pound kayak with all your gear in it.
For sure. For sure. Somebody says Jeffrey. That must be one of your buddies.
Yeah, I know who that is. That's Mr. Joe Douglas.
Okay. All right. We know Joe. Joe's rocking the pro angler. So, okay. So that brings up a good point. So you fished with the Flint Hills guys. So you joined back in 2019. You fished an Air Capital event with us. Just happened to find us on Facebook before the other groups, I guess.
Yep.
And so you, and that event was kind of right in your neck of the woods anyways.
Yeah.
But, so you didn't really have to travel too far out of your way, but then you fished last year with Flint Hills. Is that right? That was like your first official full season?
Correct. And I'm not sure how long Flint Hills has been around. It hasn't been a couple years or something, but I mean, they were close. They're based out of Topeka. Mm-hmm. They fished a lot of waters around here. So, I just kind of hooked up with them and I liked what they were doing and, went from there. That's who I've been fishing with.
How'd you do last year?
Oh gosh, I think I ended up finishing 6th in Angler of the Year.
For your first year?
Yeah. My best finish was we had I think they called it a 5 reservoir challenge or something like that. And so we had 5 reservoirs to pick from, and I got 2nd in it. That was pretty early in the year. But that's the best finish.
Where did you fish for that one?
I fished down at Melbourne.
Okay.
For that one. And
Are you going to be fishing Melbourne this weekend?
I am. I will be there.
All right. So where did you win that tournament?
Well, if you ask around, you'll find out.
Okay. All right. And
there's a lot of people that know about the spot that I fish. So
okay. Well, I would be willing to challenge you to a drum fest on Melbourne. I think I could take you, man.
I know they need to have a drum tournament down there. I mean,
big ones. Ones.
There are big ones, and there's lots of them.
And geez, that was fun until I realized, about 5 minutes into it, I'm like, okay, this isn't a bass.
Yeah.
And I was just wishing he would disappear.
Yeah, I'd really like to get into some smallies down there. I haven't done that yet. So I'm kind of debating on where I'm going to fish Saturday.
Okay, so you won this event, this 5 reservoir challenge on Melbourne with largemouth?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
That's cool, because that's the first thing I think of when I think of Melbourne is smallies, right?
Yeah, because that's what was it Derek that won it last year? The actual tournament at Melbourne. I think that's what he caught, didn't he? Or smallies?
I don't recall, but I'm sure he had a few, if not all. Yeah, smallies.
So,
but I know there's some good ones in there.
Right.
I know there's some good ones in there. Cool. So you're pretty familiar with Melbourne, or was that just kind of a?
That was I just went there on a whim. I kind of did some map study and found a spot that, I mean, obviously when I try to pick out a spot, I'm trying to find a close access to the water, and I found a spot that I thought was, decent, and I picked it, and the fish were biting, so it worked out.
Cool. That's cool. Okay, so Mr. Southeast Kansas Yak Man wants to know. I keep forgetting I can do this, and this is pretty cool.
I like those.
Yeah, shout out to Jacob for the comments. Keep them coming, buddy. Do you trailer or are you truck bed hauling your rig?
I put mine in a truck bed just because, and then I just have a hitch extender on the back of it. Okay. I just don't really have room for a trailer. I'd love to have a trailer, but I'm always hurting for room. So
sure. Make sure you guys go check out Southeast Kansas Yak Man on YouTube. We're trying to get this guy to get some videos out this summer, I guess, right? So go show him some love. One of my other YouTube buddies over here is Mr. CasualBass Guy. He says, hello, gentlemen. Make sure you check him out. He kind of started out in the float tube, and he's ventured on into the kayak scene with us, and he's done well.
Nice.
He came out and caught him at Big Hill with me and went out to Wilson State Fishing Lake with me, and dang, caught a 22.5-inch largemouth out at Butler last year.
Wow.
Yeah, dude. So it looks like one of your anonymous buddies here wants to know about the bubblegum trick worm and why it's the best bait.
I catch a lot of flack for that. Last year, last summer, Flint Hills Kayak Anglers used to have a league night, and we'd rotate between Lake Shawnee and Shawnee State Fishing Lake.
Okay.
And Shawnee State Fishing Lake, I was fishing with a Zoom bubblegum trick worm, and I think I ended up getting second that night. And man, that whole summer I just kept using them, and I was getting bit just using the pink. So
all year long, huh?
What?
All year long.
Yeah, it was crazy. So I just kept using it, and of course they always give me flack about that.
Yeah, of course. That's something that I've noticed about Mr. Joe Douglas. He means well for sure, but he likes to rib you every now and then, doesn't he?
Yeah, he likes to dish it, but he likes to.
He'll take it.
He can take it.
He's a good sport. Yeah,
he is
for sure. What was it that he was giving me crap for here recently? He was about the off limits. Oh man, he just would not. He would not. Oh well, I better not
off
fish
limits for 7 days or something.
Oh man, he laid it on thick.
He's a good dude.
But I enjoyed it at first. I was like, man, why is he being a jerk, you know? Mm-hmm. And then I realized he was just playing around.
Yeah.
Jacob says he's working on the YouTube stuff, so we'll give that a rest, and maybe we'll join him sometime soon here on the water. Okay, so we heard about the pink trick worm. What is your favorite style of fishing? And then, what is some of your favorite baits?
I'm a finesse guy. I like fishing real slow. Anything Texas rig really. I'll throw a lot of worms, creature baits, crayfish baits. Really anything that I can put on a Texas rig. I try to fish just as slow as I can, really. Okay.
So you just soft plastic, Texas rigged, anything?
Yeah. I mean, I've tried to, I always try to expand my, what I use. So I always, I try to switch it up a little bit here and there, but I always find myself going back to, soft plastics is what I fish mainly.
Okay. What's your favorite creature bait?
Well, I guess I got to say it's the that bandito bug, the Guggen bandito bug. Sure. That's what I caught all my fish at Hillsdale on, just a black and blue, and that's the only thing I could catch fish on that day. So
people ask me my favorite color. Like, we might not be talking about fishing, right? We're just, what's your favorite color? And I tell them black and blue.
Yeah, absolutely. That's mine too.
So, around here with the dirty water, I think it's just good everywhere. And I'll catch fish in clear water on black and blue. Not that I get a chance to fish clear water very often.
Right.
But this must still be Joe. Joe, figure out how to make your pretty profile picture show up on there. NECA has some hammers. Yes, they do. We talked about Mr. Ken Shippey, right? I think he's an OG necking, right? That's before Flint Hills. So I don't know if he's more of a Flint Hills guy now. Yeah. ACKA hammers down. I don't. Is that like a diss or a compliment? I don't know.
I don't know. That doesn't sound like something Joe would say.
Who are you, anonymous Facebook user? You. Okay, so Jacob wants to know: are you using Braid? Are you using Flouro, leaders, Texas rigs?
I run Braid on everything, and I run leaders, Flouro leaders on everything. I'm not real. I don't like switching back and forth between heavy line or I usually run about 15-pound Power Pro on pretty much everything, and then I run usually a 15-pound Flouro leader, and that's regardless of what I'm throwing.
15 pounds on the
Yep.
Flouro leader. Okay, all right. Well, Mr. Finesse coming in with 15-pound Flouro
With
leader.
likes to use heavy line.
It's crazy though, because like I'll tell people, yeah, I like to power fish, and then I find myself like fishing, jigs and stuff, which I don't know if that's even considered that, but kind of contradict myself on that. So 15-pound braid, 15-pound Flouro
Yeah,
leader.
yeah. I mean, I use 10-pound Flouro leaders sometimes, but lately I've been just tying on a 15-pound.
Do you sorry, I was reading one of these comments and I got sidetracked here. Do you have like a hook preference? I've recently started dabbling with like a flipping hook. Obviously that's for a more flipping application, but do you have like, do you get specific on EWGs or straight shanks or anything like that?
No, I mean, for the longest time I was using just offset hooks,
Mm-hmm.
and I've kind of switched to a EWG, running that mostly. But I'll still go back and forth. I don't really ever use just a straight shank.
And what do you equate that to? Like, have you had more success? Do you know, or did you just switch it up and didn't see any downside to it? Or
Um, Honestly, it's probably just lack of experience. That's what I started using, and I've had a little bit of success using it. So I just
yeah,
haven't really tried a lot of other hooks.
yeah. No, I mean, I think EWGs are pretty. I think a lot of guys use them. I don't really get too crazy into like the worm hooks and all the.
Yeah.
I just I don't know. Might be my lack of experience as well. This has got to be my wife calling me John David. Uh, fishing frogs. Is
I
that, are you
don't.
known? No,
No, I don't fish. I don't fish really any top water. Believe it or not, I don't like fishing top water. Um,
really. You don't like fishing topwater.
no, I don't. I know it sounds crazy because everybody loves doing it and can't wait for the time of year.
Yeah.
But I mean, I do have own that and have some of my tackle walks, but I don't fish a lot of topwater baits.
Okay. Okay. What? So so you're fairly new to this, right? New to
Yes,
fishing bass, right? You've had a lot of experience fishing more crappie, walleye, um, that sort of thing.
correct.
Uh,
Yeah.
h- how do you think that has helped you in bass fishing? Like, what do you like? What kind of correlation do you see between the different species, and how do you think it's helped you, or otherwise?
I don't know. I guess just trying to. I mean, especially walleye fishing. It's trying to figure out where the fish are at any given time, and I think that's probably what's helped most as far as like putting that towards bass fishing is just trying to figure out where what time of the year where fish might be, things like that.
I'm going to bed.
Okay, so
Garrett says he just caught some on a whopper plopper this morning.
Garrett said he caught him on a whopper plopper. I went out the other day and I threw a frog, and it might have been a little bit early, but apparently not. There's a Flint Hills guy right there. He must have a YouTube channel. It looks like Mr. Garrett Reese is he posting up his YouTube his fishing adventures on YouTube?
I don't know that Garrett does too much,
Okay. Well, shout
and
out to Garrett.
I don't know if you can call Garrett a Flint Hills guy.
No,
He's a Nika guy.
is he?
Yeah,
Well, what about this guy?
old Shad.
Yeah, he's a Flint Hills, right?
He's a Flint Hills guy. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, I know Shad has been posting some stuff up on YouTube, and I've enjoyed some of his videos for sure with the bracket style tournaments he's been doing.
Yeah, have you heard he's been pretty successful at that. He's going to the Elite 8 house in the
Nice.
KBBT.
Shout out to Shad, man.
Yeah. So he gets to go fish Reelfoot
Nice.
in a couple weeks, I think.
Rep it for us Kansas boys while we're back here fishing this muddy water with little fish. He's a walk-in guy. He's found some good walk-in spots.
Yeah, he fishes some walk-in.
He's got him some honey holes down there, I've noticed. He says, "Who's your favorite pro angler? Do you follow that sort of thing?"
Oh, a little bit. I mean, my favorite pro angler probably I like watching Jacob Wheeler on YouTube. I mean, that's who I don't know. I feel like I relate to him a little bit. I don't know how or why, but I don't know.
Because
I
you're
like
so good.
I like watching him, so that's who I like to follow.
I think Jacob Wheeler, he just seems like a stand-up dude. You know,
Yeah.
He just seems genuine, and he's such a stick, man. He is such a hammer, and he just still seems down to earth. He does not seem to be cocky or anything like that. He just seems like a cool dude. I agree. I think he's a good role model for new anglers and in the youth. I think so. So I could agree with you there. My buddy Fat Bass's TV, he's a local YouTube superstar here in the Wichita area. He says Daddy's here. And his favorite angler, not that anybody even asked him, right? I mean, really? Come on, man.
Hey, come on.
Seth Feider. And I mean, I'm digging the mullet. I think Fat Basses might have had a mullet at one point.
Should bring that back.
Yeah, bring it back. Seth Fighters, he's a cool dude. He seems like he could get down with the Kansas folks.
Yeah.
All right, cool, man. Well, I appreciate you guys all joining in on the comment section there. Oh, he says he's growing it out as we speak. Appreciate you guys joining in on the comment section. You guys are keeping this thing going for sure. I don't know that we've even really got to all the juicy stuff.
No.
But it's cool. I appreciate you guys joining in, and that's kind of part of the fun is we don't know what the heck we're doing here. We're just going to wing it. You did mention earlier, though, and it kind of got me thinking about one of our normal questions. You mentioned you did some map study. So that brings me to how you prepare for a tournament.
Well, map study. I don't have a lot of, I'm a busy guy. Don't have a lot of time to do a lot of pre-fishing. So usually I'm showing up the morning of, and hoping for the best. So I'll try to do all my, pre-fishing on a desktop computer. A lot of Google Earth, a lot of Google Maps. I, have the Navionics where I kind of post it up side by side and, look at the aerials versus, what the contours are like. That's really about it. Anytime I do get to go pre-fishing, I obviously like to. I did get to pre-fish Hillsdale, and I think that helped tremendously.
Yeah.
But
it looked like I was looking at the standings from that tournament, man, and did you only catch 5 for the entire day?
No, I think I ended up catching 7 or 8 fish, and but only one of them was a cull, and that was later. And I think I had a limit by about 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
So
it looked like some guys were struggling, a lot of zeros. It looked like second place I think had 4 fish, but it was kind of an odd deal where second place had 4 fish, but third place had 5 fish.
Yeah.
Um, how do you say, is it
Hep.
hip? Yeah. He had the big one of the day. It looks like
Hmm.
at 19 inches, so that just barely put him above third place.
And I was just waiting for him to get me. I mean, he's a good fisherman. So,
hmm
but nobody. I mean,
He's always up there. It seems like
he is.
him and Cole.
Yeah,
Cole,
yeah,
Cole was
yeah.
third
Yeah, I
place.
figured. Yeah, Cole got third, I think. So, and I don't know if they were just. I don't know. I got to give that to Joe again. If I get in on
The pink
Hillsdale.
worm.
What?
The pink
No,
worm.
no. So I went out and pre-fished Thursday,
Okay.
and I fished the east side of the lake, over on St. Mary's by the St. Mary's boat ramp, and I fished for probably 2 or 3 hours and not a bite. I was doing a lot of power fishing, just trying to locate fish, and just couldn't get a bite. So towards the end, I threw on that bandito bug and just instantly got bit. And then it was probably 20 minutes later, got bit again, and by that time I was needing to go home. So, Joe and I were talking, and I was telling him, and he's that night before I went and camped down there, and he came by and we were talking, and he said, I'm hearing that they're catching fish on the over by the marina on the west side of the lake, and I'm like, man, I don't know. I know there's fish over on the on the east side. I was like, so I couldn't make up my mind, and I thought, oh, what the heck, you know, I'll put in where Joe puts in, and we kind of fished together most of the day, and turned out to. So I got to give him a little credit.
Dang. Okay. So do you chalk that up to, because you guys were fishing around each other? Um, do you chalk the fish catches up to fishing slow? Do you think that's maybe why you caught him and he didn't put up the numbers you did? Or I'm not,
Um,
I'm not asking you to talk down on the guy, but I'm just, what do you correlate that to? What do
we're
you?
still trying to figure that out because
Yeah, because he caught one 15 and a
he
half
caught
inch.
one. And sorry, Joe, but
Love you, Joe.
sorry, Joe, but I pretty much fished behind Joe the entire time.
Yeah,
So that's
really?
what's
Oh my
yeah,
gosh.
and
So that
that's what's strange. We ended up throwing same bait, same everything. I just don't know if it was my presentation, the way I was presenting it. I don't know. If you could tell
yeah,
me, we'd both be interested.
that's crazy. Isn't
Yeah,
that nuts?
it is.
What about electronics? What do you so you mentioned the Navionics thing and the Google Maps or whatever you do there. Um, what about on the boat? Do you run any electronics?
Yeah, for last couple of years, I've ran just a Helix 5, um, and I really only use it to for water temperature and the depth and looking for breaks, and that's really about it. I mean,
Mhm.
I just recently got a Garmin EcoMap
Mhm.
73
Okay.
SV, so I've only had it on the boat for just a couple weeks now. I've gotten it out once just to play around with it. So
They're good units.
I think that'll help out a lot. Just having that side imaging, maybe helping to locate brush or locate rocks or something like that. But
I think that mapping feature is going to be something that you really um, will like a lot. I would encourage you to set that up at home. I've
okay.
set it up to where I can actually power my unit up here in the garage and pull up my Lake Master in my case. But
Hmm.
in your case, you have the Lakeview G3 mapping, and it is very good. The shading on there is awesome. You've got like almost an endless amount of options as far as depth zones that you can highlight and colors that you can choose, and it just really helps you figure out where all those breaks are that you're talking about. See how far those points extend out. You can still see that on Navionics,
Right.
without the shading. But when you add that shading aspect to it, it makes it real handy.
Yeah, I could use a tutorial about
Let's do it, man. Let's
setting
get
that thing up.
together. I'll show you how to use some electronics. Obviously,
Sure.
I've gotten a chance to, play with a lot of that stuff just with working at R&P. But the Garmin's a good. I run Helix, right,
Hmm.
myself, but the Garmin's are good units at
Yeah,
clips, I'm
I
sure.
like it so far. I like it a lot.
Okay, so let's go back to some comments here. We're a little bit behind. Shad is asking, and make sure you guys check this guy out on YouTube. I don't know if I said that earlier or not, but check him out. He's got some cool stuff up there. We're gonna root our boy Shad on for the bracket. I'm drawing a blank. Do you remember what that's called? The
Yeah, it's the
KBBT.
KBBT
Mm-hmm.
National Championship, I think.
Yeah. So, what tournament are you most looking forward to the rest of the year?
Probably here in 2 weeks, I'll be going up to Okoboji up in Iowa to
Dude.
fish the All American.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard it. I've heard it's just got tremendous smallmouth in it. I went up to this last week, and I went up to Iowa and met a buddy up there, and we went fishing, and we fished this private lake, and it had like 15 feet visibility in it. And so we were just sight fishing docks. And I mean, I could do that all day long. And from what he's told me, he said that the Okoboji Lake up there has even better water visibility. So it'll be interesting.
That's intimidating to me, man. Like
It
that
is.
scares me.
It does too, but and I think I guess Shad won't be going, but I think Joe and Ethan are going. So we got a
Is
group
there
of
a
guys.
is there a team name or something on
Oh
that
yeah,
group?
yeah. I got. They kick my butt if I didn't mention that. So bring back that bubblegum, the bubblegum worm.
Uh-huh.
Um, what was it? Last year we were going to fish a team tournament up in Perry, and Joe and I were going to fish. And he wanted a team name, and I thought, well, let's just be the Bubblegum Boys or something like that. And he goes, no, I think we need to be the Bubble Guppy Crew. So,
Okay.
so we're now known as the Bubble Guppy Fishing Crew.
Nice, man. I didn't
Yeah,
realize you were a part of that elite group of guys down up there.
yeah. So I have to give a shout out to the BGFC.
You're one of the OGs then, it sounds like.
Yeah. So they're a good group of guys, and I've learned a lot from them. So
Heck yeah. No, that's the cool thing about this community, man, is like, I really wish I could come up there and fish with you guys more often. A lot of good dudes up there, and
yeah,
I'm sure they feel the same way about us. It's just there's so many dang tournaments these days, and we all got families and we all got stuff going on. So this
exactly.
is kind of a cool way to just like get back in touch with my buddies up north. Fat Basses TV says, got this Metanium. He just got himself a new Shimano that needs a savior whenever you're free. Shout out to Savior Outdoors. They got the retrieval devices that'll allow you to retrieve your rods after taking a swim. So they sponsor the Air Capital Kayak Anglers, and I've been using their equipment for years. So shout out to those guys.
Yeah, you don't want to drop that one in the drink.
Oh, heck no. CasualBass Guy says, what's your favorite combo to catch them on, rod and reel? And what bait is the most satisfying to catch them on?
Oh, I mean, I kind of, I'm not like super loyal to any one brand. I own a lot of Shimano. I guess I kind of started trying out different bait casters because I wanted to see which one felt the best, which one I liked the best.
Mm-hmm.
And so far, I mean, I got to go with the SLX. I don't think you can beat, for the money. I don't think you can beat it. I love that reel. I actually just got a Corrado, and I won it on a Instagram giveaway. Believe it or not.
Very cool.
Yeah. So I got to use it. I just got
Which
it.
channel was that on? Do you remember?
Um,
Or page or whatever?
that was
I'm getting old, man. I'm calling them Instagram channels.
Pineside. I'm drawing a blank on
Okay, not a big deal.
their name. Pineside something.
That's
Anyway,
awesome.
yeah, it's awesome. They sent me a reel and I got to
Dang.
use it. But yeah, I mean the SLX for me is hard to beat for the money. And then like as far as rod goes, I like just using like a loose speed stick and usually like a medium heavy with fast action on it. That's
Yeah.
probably the setup that I like to use most. As far as bait goes, any soft plastic, and you just see your line start moving or you just feel that little tick. That's, and then setting that hook, that's the most satisfying for me.
That's pretty satisfying, man. I had one the other day. Creature bait. I've been fishing a lot of biz baits, biz bugs here lately, and I know our boy Joe Douglas loves the Dizzy Diamonds. I believe
Yeah.
that biz baits. That's actually one. That's a NECA secret. Those guys up there don't want you all to know about it, but Mr. Derek Jameson throws the Dizzy Diamond as
Okay.
well. It's kind of their finesse worm, but anyways, the biz bug, man, and yeah, you see that line move a little bit, like boom, you set that hook,
Mm-hmm.
and once you
Yeah,
realize
that's
it's not a
fun.
stick.
Yeah.
The SLX, I want to comment on that too. The SLX, I've got 5 or 6 of them, I think, maybe 4 or 5 of them. I have 2 of the SLX XTs. I have one SLX DC. I have 2 SLX, the originals,
Mm-hmm.
and then I have a Curado as well. But I feel like the SLX, check out the SLX XT.
Okay.
If you need a new reel or whatever and you want to stick with the SLX lineup, I feel like it's every bit as good as my Curado.
Yeah. I'll look into that. I've got I've got a Tatula, I've got a Revo, and then I've got like 3 or 4 SLX and then that Corrado. And I like the feel that, the SLX, I like the lightweight of it. And so anyway.
Heck yeah, man. We can nerd out on that sort of thing. It's all right.
Yeah.
Fat Bass's TV's throwing some shade at CBG, says he needs to be on here, and he wants to hear his tips and tricks on breaking down water. So,
Sounds like your next guest.
yeah. Shad Schaefer throwing up the hashtag
The bubble
BGFC.
guppies.
Bubble Guppies. Fat Bass's says I have a SLX 150 HG, SLX DC, Curado, Metanium, Sahara, and Kaya. So he's going all Shimano too. Okay, so let's see. We kind of talked about electronics, talked about what rig you're running. What type of cover and structure do you find yourself targeting most frequently? We kind of know what bait you like to throw. Break that down for us. What kind of cover and structure do you find yourself fishing?
That's pretty easy around here. I'm looking for laydowns, laydowns or brush. We don't have a lot of grass here to fish, so it's kind of tough to do that. I'll look for rock, but majority of the time I'm looking for any type of laydown. And I think that's what helped at Hillsdale the most was we were looking for, because all those coves we were fishing, it was just all brush and lay down, and we were trying to look for some rock because we had a cold front come through a couple days before, and we knew that the fish are probably trying to move up into some rocks because that'd be a little warmer water. And we actually did find some submerged gravel and rocks, and that seemed to be where most of the fish held. They're up in the brush, but yeah, to answer that question, I usually look for any type of brush or laydowns to fish.
Are you finding visible stuff, or are you looking on the graph at all for any of that?
Mostly just visible stuff. But yeah, I look on the graph a little bit now, and I think with that, having that side imaging now, it'll only make it easier.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Heck yeah, man. Um, have you put much thought into trying to set yourself apart from how other anglers? So this kind of goes to you at Hillsdale. Like you're literally fishing behind a guy. You're fishing the same bait. You had to be doing something differently, and that's really the whole idea of doing this podcast, doing this interview style deal is just finding out, what are you doing differently? What did you do differently to win that tournament? And how can we learn from that? But so do you do that? Do you consciously do that or?
I mean, yeah, a little bit, but I mean, I I'm pretty patient person to begin with, so I could sit there and fish an area and just beat it to death and not get frustrated or anything. And that's one thing I've told like some of the other guys. I've tried to like tell them to slow down a little bit because majority of guys I come across or fish with are a lot of power fishermen. They like just burning baits and covering water. And I mean, that's my philosophy is you just slow down a little bit. If you think you're fishing slow, then you probably need to slow down a little more.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that obviously there are times where this hurts you, right?
Yeah.
If you're in unproductive water to begin with, slowing down is not going to pay off, right?
Yeah.
So you have to get yourself in that productive water to begin with. So that's part of the map study, right? That's part of paying attention to the electronics. You're gonna see a benefit from the side imaging for sure. Just making sure you're around that right structure and cover, and you'll be able to mark fish. 50, 75 feet away from you. It's going to be awesome. But I think that's part of it is just getting yourself in that productive water. But that's kind of the cool thing about kayak fishing is we tend to have more patience. We tend to be more slow, slow down our presentation because we're more tied down to an area than somebody in a boat, with the 250 horsepower motor on the back of it is, we're not going to be able to, you just haul across the lake and do something completely different in a matter of minutes.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. You got to give an area a little more attention than you would if you're in a boat.
So that's something that it sounds like you've kind of implemented.
And you know what? I think we were talking about Mr. Shippey earlier. I think that's a prime example of, just being patient. And I mean, he'll sit in a cove and win tournaments when rest of us are out trying to chase fish on bank. So to me,
Yeah.
that's a good example of, someone just being patient. And
Yeah. Dude, this is a heck of a compliment here. Did you see that? Is that what you were giggling about over there?
yeah.
Dude, the hammer. Mr. James Francis says, "Congrats, Jeff, on the dub. You have inspired me to throw a trick worm."
Make sure it's bubblegum.
Bubblegum, baby. Okay, so now I realize who this comment earlier was. Um, and he said that he missed fishing with ACKA. Here he is. Francis, brother, I miss fishing with ACKA. Love the trick worm tip. And for those of you who don't know who Mr. James Francis is, he has become a household name all over the dang country. He is a military, I guess, I don't know, veteran's probably not the right word because I'm pretty sure he's active duty. But he's in the military. He moves around the country, and wherever he goes, he dominates the fishing scene. So I know he's done it in Nebraska. He's done it here. I think he's gone over to Colorado, maybe Iowa, and I think he's on the move again. I don't recall. Do you know?
No, I don't. But
Okay.
that's awesome to hear that.
Yeah, this guy is a hammer. He used to come down and fish with us when he was living in Nebraska, and he's always in the money. He just won a big event up there. I think it was a sticks event, and they
Okay.
were running that with the Central. There's a new series that they're running up there. James Legat is running that one. Central States, I think, something like that. So he's won He's won all kinds of stuff. James Francis, thank you for joining us.
Thank you, James.
Thank you for your service. Appreciate you, man. Fat Basses TV says power fishing shade thrown at John. I guess I am kind of known for the power fishing thing. So I need to slow down. He probably saw me whiz by him at a tournament or something and
Throwing that frog.
power fishing the frog. Hey man, just boosting his algorithm stats by staying active and commenting. Hey, appreciate you, Fat Basses. I really do. Fat Basses, go check him out. He's on Instagram, YouTube. He does it all. TikTok, and he does a lot of lives and stuff like that. He's pouring his own plastics, and you'll be seeing more of him on the channel as well. So shout out to Fat Basses TV. Yeah. There's some shade. only thing I know John for is drum. It's sad. I know.
You're just getting ready for that drum tournament at Melbourne, man.
Dude, I'm gonna do a drum tournament one of these days.
Yeah.
You guys are all gonna lose, and you're gonna be the joke. Then.
Hey, why not, man?
Yeah.
Drum are fun to catch.
Yeah, the guys at work teased me about it, and we talked about doing YouTube videos about catching drum and stuff. Yeah. Anyways, it's a sensitive subject. Go-to lure when fishing is tough. I mean, we kind of know it's a Texas rig. So before you answer this question, I want to know, what is your go-to weight when you're Texas rig?
I throw real lightweight too. I'm a 1/8 ounce tungsten.
Okay. I was curious. I've been curious about that, and I just forgot to ask it. So when your go-to lure, would you choose a creature bait Texas rig? Would you go with a worm? What would you do?
Well, right now I'd probably choose creature bait.
Bandito bug.
Yeah, I mean it probably would be I'd throw in a speed worm or even throw in a ringtail worm.
Okay.
But yeah, 1/8 ounce tungsten on Texas rig. So that's my confidence bait.
And is that why you like the braid? Like, do you have a good feel for what that lure is doing, or?
Yeah, I think I think that's what it is. I do have a good feel for it. You can pretty much feel everything with when you have braid on there.
Yeah.
So, and that's the only thing that Joe and I could think was like, because I think he was throwing all Flouro. And that's the only thing that we could think that would have been the difference, is maybe I was feeling those real subtle bites and he just wasn't.
And you're just jacking them like on the kind of finesse rig. I mean, as
Yep.
soon as heck yeah, man, you're rocking that medium heavy. Why not? I flip a lot of stuff on my medium heavy. I got a heavy on the way, so I don't know if that'll change, but okay. So go-to fishing. You kind of mentioned this earlier too. You really kind of stay level-headed. You don't get down on yourself. It doesn't sound like when you're not catching fish. Once you kind of commit yourself to an area, you just hunker down and go to work.
Yeah, I mean, when it comes down to it, I'm there to have fun. I'm not going to be disappointed if I don't get in the money, or if I'm there to have fun catching fish. So
Yeah.
that's I try not to get down on myself. I mean, there's been times when stuff doesn't go your way and you can't seem to buy a bite, but yeah, you just gotta stay even keel and just keep grinding.
That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of how I feel too. Like, I think there's a part of me that there is a part of me that wants to win and all that competitive stuff. But I think at the end of the day, I'm just there to have fun. So, could you maybe attribute some of your success to that? Like, you're just not a lot of pressure. You're not feeling the pressure. Or?
Yeah, I don't ever feel pressure. I mean, I'm not if I win a tournament or something, I'm not going to come home with a lot of money that, it might pay my next entry fee or something, but
it's not a it's
which,
not $100,000 or
yeah,
something on the line.
which is pretty awesome. But, just being able to get out and go fishing is rewarding enough for me. I
Heck
know
yeah.
that sounds kind of cheesy, but,
No,
getting to hang out with buddies and, go fishing is good enough for me.
absolutely. That's why I started the club, was just an excuse to get out and go fishing and fish new water, an excuse to go fish new places, and
Yeah.
meeting new people has been a pretty good side effect of that as well.
Yeah, and guys that are more than willing to help you out. That's what I love
Mhm.
so much about it. Is I've learned a lot from this little kayak community we got. That I
Yeah.
think I'm 100 times better fisherman now than I was last year, even.
Heck yeah. That's awesome, man. I'll bring my snare drum. Okay. Gosh dang it, Jacob. He must be hitting the tequila for Cinco de Mayo or something. I'll give you a run for your money on the drum. Well, that's good to know. I'm not alone on that.
Shad can catch drum.
Heck yeah. Maybe me and Shad need to have a drum
Yeah,
off and we could YouTube it. We could put it on video. It'll be alive, super entertaining. You guys can just sit there and watch us
yeah.
lean on drum all day. How about that?
I like that idea.
Shad, let me know if you're down. We'll link up. And then afterwards, you can take me to your walk in area and see if I can catch them too. I
We can't
probably
even get on there.
can. Right. I like catching them when I'm not in a tournament. Dude, they're fun to catch. Like those drum, they fight. I mean, I know it
Hmm.
sounds silly for me to say that drum are fun to catch, but I mean, how about you? What do you think?
Yeah, they are. They
Heck
are fun to catch.
yeah. All right. James is still watching. Appreciate you, buddy. ACK is an OG club. Jeff, what line on a trick worm? Leader on braid. So he missed on that part. Go ahead and refresh him on that.
Yeah, so I pretty much run 15-pound Power Pro on pretty much everything I throw, and I'll usually run either a 10-pound or 15-pound Flouro.
Heck
I
yeah.
know that's probably a little heavy, but that's I've had success doing it. So
Yeah, something cool too, like from doing this behind the reel podcast deal. Uh, one that kind of reminds me of what you just mentioned there with the heavy fluoro leader is going back to Marco. Marco throws strictly braid. He does not throw fluoro, mono. He doesn't throw leaders. He throws straight braid on everything.
man, well, I
Everything.
mean, maybe you can get away with that on a lot of the waters around here.
Yeah, I think most of them you can, and he catches big fish. He's a stick for sure, and he does a lot of jig fishing and stuff like that. So I mean, it's not like they're all moving baits where line size isn't a big factor.
Right.
Um,
Yeah. Do what works for you, man.
Jacob says drumline. Well, I got a question for you, and I think our buddy Shad may have mentioned this earlier on, and I did not get to post that up. But what are your goals? What are your goals for the year? Now that you've come away with the tournament win for the season, um, does that kind of make you start thinking about Angler of the Year or anything like that? Or
Um, I mean, yeah, that'd be cool, but yeah, it doesn't. You know what? Probably my biggest goal is just to have a good showing at one of the All American events. That's where there's going to be a lot of good competition, and there's good competition in all the tournaments we fish. But
yeah,
those are the ones, those big lakes that if I can have and I haven't put like a number to it or anything, but that's I want to go fish unfamiliar water and do well. So
kind of a challenging aspect. It's just new water, bigger water. You know,
yeah,
um, more competition. Maybe hate to say better competition. But you have people coming from all parts of the Midwest, or maybe even all parts of the country that are going to be fishing this series.
Right, and it's not that it's better competition because it's not. It's just
Yeah.
it's more competition.
Yep.
A lot of our tournaments, if we can get 20 guys there, that's great. But at these tournaments, there might be 100 plus.
I'd be curious to know if Mr. James Francis is going to be fishing that Okoboji event. I think he's got some history there.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I gave him the trick worm tip, so I need some tips on Okoboji, man.
Yeah. Share the love, buddy. So he has finally figured out how to make himself visible, and he says he's following Jeffrey this weekend. He calls you Jeffrey, huh?
Yeah, he does. He
That's
says
quite
he
proper.
likes. Yeah, that's okay, man. I'll let Joe call me that name if he wants to.
What do you do for a living that lets you fish tournaments?
I work for the city here in Lawrence. I'm a chemist. So
Nice.
and I've got an understanding wife that lets me fish on the weekends, at least part of the time. So
Yeah, a chemist. So a chemist for the city, you said?
yeah, for the city. So I do all the water analysis on
Okay.
drinking water and wastewater here for the
Cool.
city.
Nice, man.
So yeah, it's fun gig, Monday through Friday
Yeah.
type of gig. So most of my weekends are free if it's not tied up with other things.
Yes, sir. James says momentum is a powerful tool. I know Boji. PM me. Slide in the DMs. He
That's
might just
awesome, man.
Yeah. He says he can't go to Boji though, so you don't got to worry about him apparently.
All right.
So he might let a cat
So
out of the bag.
so I got to ask him: Is it true that the water clear is just ridiculous up there?
Let us know, James.
Yeah.
What's that water clarity look like? Let us know. So we kind of talked about fishing the national tournaments. I guess you're fishing the I just drew a blank.
All American.
Yep, sorry. Is that kind of where you're setting your national stuff is more at that level, or are you going to do any of the
Oh,
Hobies or the BASSs or?
I don't know. Last from when I finished second in that tournament last year, that qualified me for the KBF National Championship.
Yeah.
I think that's coming up in October. So I have that option to go to. I think it's down in Louisiana.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't decided if I'm going to go to that or not.
Okay.
So as of right now, yeah, the All American is probably. I've got 3 of them. I'm going to fish Okoboji,
Mm-hmm.
and then probably go down to 10 killer, and then fish Wilson.
Heck yeah.
So
Heck yeah. You gonna swing by on the 15th for the Air Capital event?
No, I'll be up in Okoboji for that.
Oh, is that the same?
Yeah.
Okay. That's right. Well, Wilson is a Clearwater one too. You'll probably have 6 foot of visibility, I'd imagine.
Yeah, I've never been on Wilson. I've driven by it lots of times, but I've never been able to fish it. So I'm really looking forward to that lake.
That one is it's going to put up some big numbers.
I think it will too.
28 pounds won a bass boat tourney on Boji last week.
Okay.
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
That's a 6 pound almost average, man.
That's crazy.
That's nuts. 5.5 pounds or something.
Yeah.
Average. So, heck yeah. I've heard a lot of good things. I know there's good smallies, but I think there's big largemouth in there too.
Okay. Yeah, it must be. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I don't know if maybe I'm hoping to. That's one thing I wanted to try to do this year was do a little bit more drop shot fishing,
Mm-hmm.
A little more offshore fishing, and I figured that's probably a good opportunity to try that. So
Bust out the drop shot, man. I know you say you like the finesse stuff, which I don't really consider myself much of a finesse guy, but when I do bust it out, the drop shot's one of my go-tos. And
Yeah.
I don't fish it in super deep water. I don't fish super deep water, period. But 10 foot or so, I'll fish
Yeah.
a drop shot in
Yeah.
around
Oh,
brush or whatever.
yeah. Drop shot. And then I've started, obviously using Ned rig quite a bit more than I have, but
That's one I can't get with the Ned rig. I just can't feel anything with it,
man,
and
but it catches fish, man.
I know Joe Douglas. He likes those bang sticks. I don't know if he's still
Hmm.
rocking the bang sticks.
I think he does. I think he's mentioned those before.
James is still trying to drop some knowledge on you here for this Boji thing.
All right,
So,
man. No,
but
I
just
appreciate it.
remember, James, everybody can see this. Save the juicy stuff for the DMs. East Boji is slightly dirty, west is clear.
Okay.
So you might want to gravitate towards the west side. I'd be over there on the east side.
Yeah, and that's what I've heard. I've heard, the west is west, and then Spirit Lake are the two places to go catch a smallmouth. So we'll see what
Nice.
happens. We'll have to do some studying first.
Heck yeah. Heck yeah. Do some map study, right?
Yep.
Let's see. I think we got another comment or two. Oh, here he goes. I was right. Bang stick on a Ned head. Appreciate you, Joe. I can feel everything with a Ned. Love the Ned rig. He talked about that one on his episode. If you guys haven't seen that one, go check it out with Mr. Jacob Ward. That was our very first episode of Behind the Reel
Yeah.
podcast.
That was a good one.
It was cool. He set it up. He had the background set up for us and everything. It was
Yeah.
pretty legit. Can't wait to see Joe's stash on Saturday. I'm sure you're not the only one looking forward to Joe's stash. Jeez. All right. Whatever. You guys get a room, all right? Well, I appreciate you joining me for this. You were concerned about us figuring out what the hell we're going to talk about for an hour. I feel like we could go for another hour if we really wanted
No,
to.
yeah. It's been awesome, man. Time flies.
We're just sitting here. We're talking fishing. You guys are joining in on the conversation, so we appreciate that. And it's been a good time. I'm excited to do some fishing with you at some point this year. It sounds like I'll probably meet up with you at Wilson for the All-American.
Okay, good.
So
Gonna be a lot of people on it, I think.
I would hope so. I'd love to see 70 plus guys out there.
Yeah, I would hope so.
I'll just drop this on you. I don't know how many of you viewers out there were at this event, but a few years back, the Midwest Kayak Fishing Series did an event out on Big Hill. And this was a regional event, and we had 70 anglers on Big Hill back in like 2017 or 2018. And that is the biggest kayak fishing event in the state of Kansas that I know about to date. So I'd really, really be excited to see that get broke, that record get broke this year. So, okay. Yep, we still got some guys in the comments there talking about Joe's mustache. But all right, man. Well, I'm excited to do some fishing this year. I'm gonna keep looking at the leaderboards over there on the Flint Hills groups and the NECA groups. I'm gonna be cheering you on, and I'm gonna be watching that Okoboji standings too. I'm watching for my Kansas boys.
All right, appreciate it.
Oh,
So,
shout out to Southeast Kansas. They're gonna be hosting a statewide event out down at the Mineland Wildlife Area.
yep.
And so this is going to count for all 4 clubs: Southeast Kansas Kayak Anglers, Air Capital Kayak Anglers, Northeast Kansas Kayak Anglers, Flint Hills Kayak Anglers. All 4 clubs are going to earn AOY points for this event. We're also doing a KBN, a Kansas Bass Nation event down there as well. So you can fish one or the other or both. So there's going to be a lot of attention down there on the mine lands, the strip pits, as you guys may know them. and there's a lot of really good fish down there. So I'm excited about that one as well. Maybe we can break the record again down there.
Yeah, that's a place I've always wanted to fish. I'll be down there for that one.
That's a destination for sure. And we'll have guys coming over from Missouri for that one,
Yeah.
even because it is a destination lake or destination, area.
Now it's just a matter of trying to figure out which one to fish.
Oh man. And I have no idea. But let me know if you want to go pre-fish down there, man. I'll join you.
Oh yeah, I'd love to.
Maybe we can get Jacob to take us.
Yeah, that'd work.
Jacob, pressure's on, buddy. We need some intel. He says there's over 1,000 pits.
It's crazy.
So, all right, man. You're going to be there. Heck yeah. So make sure you guys join us down there as well. But appreciate you joining me tonight. I think I'm going to go ahead and sign off. My wife went to bed about 30 minutes ago or so. So I'm going to go ahead and hit the hay. And you have yourself a good night and hope to see you on the water soon, man.
All right. Thank you, John. Appreciate it.
All right. Thanks for joining, everybody.
Right.
Make sure you guys get
everyone.
subscribed to the channel as well. I know a good number of the people watching these videos are not subscribed, so make sure you go ahead and click that subscribe button. It'll really help our channel grow, and appreciate you for being a part of it, Jeff.
All right. Have a good one.
All right.
Thanks, John.
Man. Yes, sir.